Welcome to The Soft Life with me, Candy Washington, where we explore all things self-love, manifestations, and relationships with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. So be sure to subscribe, share, and join us on Patreon. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's Kiki, which is a deep dive into the latest episode of Vanderpump Rules, it's the last episode before we get the season finale. And then also we are going to be dissecting the reunion trailer that just dropped. So before we dive in, be sure to like the video, subscribe, share, and join our newsletter. It's down below for free. So with that, let's dive right on in. So let's first talk about the reunion trailer that is dropped. I have a copy of it, so we will be watching the video, but let's do a quick recap of it. Then we will watch the trailer together, okay? So this is according to Entertainment Tonight. Vanderpump Rules reunion trailer. Tom Sandoval and Raquel Leviss face off with Ariana Madix and cast. It's all happening. After months of anticipation, fans will soon watch Tom Sandoval and Raquel Leviss go toe-to-toe with Ariana and the rest of the Vanderpump Rules cast after the two co-stars were exposed having a months-long affair. I think it was at least a year. I think it definitely started out emotional and then quickly moved to sexual, but I think it was at least a year of the grooming and all of that stuff. Bravo just released the explosive trailer for the season 10 reunion of Vanderpump Rules, and it's jam-packed with tears, yelling, and a heated argument between Sandoval and James Kennedy that almost turns physical. Side note, I have the reunion, so we will watch that. But this also answers that question. Remember months ago, it was spilled that like two people almost came to blows, and Jax Taylor said, "Oh, it was the two of the boys." So now we know it was Tom Sandoval and James Kennedy that almost comes to blows on at the reunion. There was also things like, "Oh, it wasn't Raquel or Ariana or Tom who was involved in it," but now we know that's not true. Now we know it's James and Tom Sandoval. And honestly, I think James would whoop Tom Sandoval. I don't think either of them could fight like that. I don't want anybody to have any violence or anything. But I think if they came toe-to-toe, I think that James would get the best of Sandoval just because James seems scrappier, if that makes sense. Okay, let's keep going. In the trailer, a crying Maddox says, "I can't think of two worse people, and she doesn't see anything good coming from those effing rats," referring to Raquel and Tom amid their cheating scandal. I mean, this is the thing. I'm happy that Ariana is finally getting her chutzpah. She's finally finding her voice. Because it's really funny how, and again, I'm Team Ariana on this, but I'm going to call it like I see it. I do think it's really funny how she was able to ride the fence when it was Katie, when Raquel was the one trying to hook up with her still legal husband, Tom Schwartz at the time, disrespecting the hell out of Katie's mother, how Ariana could just boo-hoo in the corner, not knowing whose side to take and ride the fence. Now they're rats. Now they're this, that, and a third. Well, because they turned around and did it to you. You see what I'm saying? And then also with Ariana writing so hard for Tom Sandoval, like in the episode that we just saw, the one that just happened, her whole conversation with Tom Sandoval about what happened with her and Lala on the episode before when Lala spilled the tea that Tom had lied about not being able to get a ride back when her grandmother died, and he spent the Labor Day party partying with Raquel anyway. How this episode she had his back and that whole like damage control. But like, I'm not going to be mad at Lala, but like she was more upset because it triggers her. She made a bigger deal out of it than what it was. Girl, bye. Let's keep going. In an effort to allow Sandoval In an effort to allow Tom Sandoval, Ariana Madix, and Raquel to speak with host Andy Cohen without much interruption, they filmed separate segments with him alone. Now, I'm very much interested in seeing the questions that Andy asked them when they're alone and separated. Andy, I hope you brought it. I hope whoever is on your team writing the questions brought it, because I have so many questions. So I'm going to hold off on all the questions I have until we see the reunion, but I hope they came to play. And then also it was noted today that Ariana will do Watch What Happens Live next Wednesday after the season finale. And this will be the first time that she's officially breaking her silence on everything. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to go down. And I'm really interested to see the questions she gets and what her disposition is on everything. And I also want her to, Ariana, if you're listening, I really want you to apologize to Katie Maloney. Katie Maloney first, Lala second. You really didn't have Katie's back like that. You really tried, you low-key played her, because when you think about it, a lot of what Raquel says to everyone, basically, to James, to Katie, to Lala, to even to Ariana in tonight's episode about the sex and all of that stuff, it's so obvious that she is just regurgitating what Tom Sandoval has told her to say. So you can't be in a 10-year relationship with Tom Sandoval and none of the vitriol that he has for Katie has rubbed off onto you. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think that's why she didn't have Katie's back the way she should have. And I wonder if she's going to take accountability and say that, right? So let's see. All right, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. In the Vanderpump Rules reunion trailer, fans watch Raquel and Sheena Shea are filmed separately because the former beauty pageant participant filed a restraining order against her co-star, Sheena Shea, which was later dismissed. Yeah, it was dismissed because Raquel and her rat legal team didn't even show up. It was a sham. Again, she filed a fake police report because there was no punch. She provided fake documents because she did not get a legitimate black eye, and she just didn't show up. And then she does the whole stunt with like the fake court documents during the reunion. In March, a source told Entertainment Tonight, so many logistics have been going into preparing for the event. Raquel and Sheena will both be at the reunion, but they are not allowed to be within 100 yards of each other. The source added, each will film with the cast at separate times, and while either isn't filming, they will be offset at a different location. There was discussion that they could possibly video call in while not on set, but due to the restraining order that Raquel filed against Sheena, they can't address one another. Ariana showed up ahead of filming the show's season 10 reunion wearing an orange sweatshirt that read 1-800-BOYS-LIE. The back of the hoodie, which featured bold, bedazzled lettering in a dark orange color, had a message for prospective callers. We're sorry, the number you're trying to reach has moved on. Madix paired the hoodie with the matching sweatpants, which shared the same lettering down the back and front of the pants. Sandoval and Raquel were then spotted together having a casual chat after filming for the highly anticipated season 10 reunion of Vanderpump Rules Wrapped. Raquel and Tom took time to sit down and talk after filming, a source said to Entertainment Tonight. They chatted over what happened on set and how they felt. It was a rough day, but they are happy they were able to show the cast their side of things. They're not happy to show the cast their side of things. Come on now. They're just the only two people that they have left. You know, they've burnt their world down. So they're the only two people they have left. They have to be on each other's side. And then also in the trailer, which we're about to watch, and you'll see, he's like, they're telling everybody we're pathological liars. And she's like, I know. And like, you know that we're not. And it's just like, dude, you're lying to yourself. Like the first person you're lying to is yourself, because both of them are pathological, narcissistic, egotistical liars. And also they're hypocrites. It's the hypocrisy. It's the the grandstanding that they do, the self-righteousness, especially Tom Sandoval. He had the audacity to go after Katie Mom's Terry and be like, well, Katie was sleeping with a guy in the house when Tom Schwartz was there. How do you think that made Tom feel? Tom Sandoval, are you crazy? Number one, you're talking to somebody's mother. Pipe all the way the F down. You don't talk to anybody's mother that way. Point blank, period. Secondly, weren't you doing the same exact thing except for behind Ariana's back? We know of at least 2 times you had sex with Raquel in the house that you share with Ariana. One was after the beach day, and the other one was when Ariana was in the house with you and you were in a relationship with her. Katie's doing her thing because Tom Schwartz isn't even having sex with her, and they actually are broken up and separated, literally filing the papers to get divorced. And you're being mad because Katie's living her life? Absolutely ridiculous. The audacity of it all. The audacity of it all. I mean, it's crazy. It's really sick. You're defending the girl you're having sex with behind your girlfriend's back to the mother of the other girl that you had your best friend hook up with the girl that you're actually having sex with to cover up the fact that you're having sex with her. That's really sick. That's really sick. Justice for Katie and justice for her mother. Let's keep going. Also, after wrapping filming, Andy Cohen took to his Instagram stories to tease what's coming following the scandal of it all. He says, "Well, that was really confrontational. It was really emotional. Nothing was left unsaid," shared Cohen, who was sporting a sweatshirt from Katie and Ariana's new sandwich shop, Something About Her. "And I got some new merch to go along with my Tom Tom sweatshirt from Raquel. Check it out." Andy, I don't trust you. You're saying nothing was left unsaid. I bet you there was a lot left unsaid. Okay? I got questions. I got a lot of questions. After seeing how the reunion played out, a source told Entertainment Tonight filming felt sad but a relief, the source added. Tom was combative, Raquel didn't say much off camera, and it was so exhausting. Last week, a 52-second trailer promoting the Vanderpump Rules season 10 finale dropped and shows the dramatic aftermath of Sandoval and Levis's affair. "I was going to break up with Ariana regardless," Sandoval is seen telling Sheena, who fires back, "But you didn't. You effed her best friend instead." The reality star then discusses his affair with his best friend Tom Schwartz, telling him he felt something that I hadn't felt in a very long time. Things heat up when Sandoval comes face to face with Maddox over his actions. When he mentions Raquel's name, that's the last straw for Ariana, who gets angry and screams that she doesn't give an F about effing Raquel. "Your friendship is effing BS," she yells, which causes Tom to scream back, "No, it's not." "Yes, it is!" Ariana stands firm. Tom also tells the inner circle that there was one other time he slept with Raquel, to everyone's horror. Dun, 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 dun. "I regret ever loving you," Ariana coldly tells her ex before having a heart-to-heart with Lisa Vanderpump, who looks very worried. You guys, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. But let's watch the reunion trailer. You guys ready? Here we go. Dun, dun, dun.
Go from a one-night stand to how did this go from a one-night stand to a full?
I am shaking right now. I am shook. I am shook. I am shook. Now, this is the thing. I do think it's going to be a really, really good reunion. I think it's going to be juicy. I think they're going to come after each other. I think it's going to be good. However, I do think that there's still going to be lots of unanswered questions and a lot of more information that we are going to be wanting, if that makes sense. Because I get this is explosive. I get it's going to be juicy, and I'm going to be watching, and we're going to be here laughing and kikiing about it. But you have to remember, this was filmed at this point, maybe even over a month ago. You know what I'm saying? And think about everything that has come out since it's been filmed. Those are going to be the additional questions that we'll have. Maybe I'm thinking Andy might do some more Watch What Happens Live. Peacock might do some more extra interviews. I think that would be great. So maybe we'll get more information that way, that they'll be doing more extras and bonuses and all of that to catch us up to where we are. But I'm shook. I'm shooketh. I'm excited. A couple of things from the trailer real quick, and then we can move on to our other stories because we got some more stories, guys. So, a couple of things. One, did you see the jealousy and the vitriol that Tom Sandoval had for James? Like, oh, I'll F you up, man. It's like, why are you mad at James, Tom? What did James ever do to you? Other than be younger than you, hotter than you, more talented than you, and had sex with Kristen Doty after you guys had broken up. Other than that, what did James ever do to you, Tom Sandoval? I think that Tom really just uses people because like he's very narcissistic. I think he uses people to hurt people that he has disdain for. Do you know what I mean? When he had disdain for Kristen Doty, he used Ariana to hurt her. And then he got the group to go against Kristen. I'm not saying Kristen's perfect. We're not talking about perfection because we're all human beings, right? And then when he had disdain for Ariana, he used Raquel to hurt her. When he had disdain for Lala, he used Ariana. He used Raquel, because I do think that everything Raquel was saying when she went after Lala at the pool party, and he was like, that was so hot, that was so sexy. I think everything Raquel said to Lala was her repeating what Sandoval said to her, and then she thought she was like hot stuff. Like, oh, I stuck it to Lala. And then that's what she did this episode. She stuck it to Ariana. Ariana was just too in denial and dumb to realize it. But she really sat there and looked her dead in the face and was like, well, you guys aren't having sex. Are you even attracted to him? When me and James stopped having sex, I knew it was over 2 years ago. Tom isn't even like that, blah, 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 blah. So she basically regurgitated everything to Ariana's face, but Ariana just didn't want to hear it, was blind as she wanted to be. And then I think everything she said to Katie was just regurgitating what Tom Sandoval said. I don't have empathy for you. I have empathy for Short. You're the one who divorced him, blah, 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 blah. So I think that Tom Sandoval just uses people to hurt people that he is jealous of or resentful of or has disdain for. Also, I think to me, unless it's shady editing, and by shady editing, I mean sometimes they'll show a reaction face that someone has, but they're actually reacting to something completely different than what they actually just showed. Sometimes they do shady editing like that, where someone's like, oh, to something, and it was like they were responding to something that wasn't even in the clip. So if it's not shady editing, and if Tom Sandoval's reaction and faces truly are in response to what Andy Cohen was asking, are you in love? Then clearly he's not. But clearly Raquel is. And that's why she was like squirming and waiting for him to say something. I've said that since day one. I think Raquel drank the Kool-Aid. She really does think she's in love with Tom. And Tom was being Tom, and he was using whoever he could to hurt people that he did not like. And then once he's done with that person, he will discard them. You know what I mean? So no, he's not in love with her. Did you see the face he made? He was like, but I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. Okay. Now, put it down below. Let me know your thoughts about the reunion and extra content and all of that. Put it down below if you're ready for it. All right, so let's move on to our next story. So this one is all about Andy Cohen spilling the beans and weighing in. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says Andy Cohen says Tom Sandoval was thin and shaking at Pump Rules reunion as Ariana prepares for her first interview on Watch What Happens Live and references Scandoval in a new ad. I have a clip of Andy Cohen on The View, and I also have the ad that Ariana is in. So we'll go through the article and then we will watch both, okay? Here we go. Andy Cohen teased the upcoming Vanderpump Rules reunion during an episode of The View earlier this week, saying that Tom Sandoval, who was caught cheating on Ariana Madix after 9 years of dating with their co-star and friend Raquel at mid-season 10, was, quote, a shell of himself. As he described Sandoval as thin and said he was shaking at the taping during the daytime talk show's Hot Topic segment, the Watch What Happens Live host confirmed Ariana May 17th appearance on his late night talk show as she revealed her new partnership with Vic. Good morning. It's about time I share my truth about something that's irritating me lately. It just feels like every day something was blocking me from living the life I deserve, and I can't lie, it's been kind of rough. Life does not have to be that complicated and annoying. Like, we all deserve to know how to deal with these freaking hairs that get stuck in my razor. Bye. Ariana began in a joint Instagram post with the razor brand. I have a clip of the ad and we'll watch it. Now these big easy rinse razors, that's another story, she continued. They're patented anti-clogging technology, blah, 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 blah. She gets into it. So let's go ahead and watch it, okay? Let's go watch. All right, here we go. But before we watch, it says, Ariana is such a queen because I feel like we love to do the scorned woman. And she's like, no, I'm better without him. I was the breadwinner. Screw him. I'm done. Elisa said via Decider. I would have burned that place down to the ground at It's Sunny. And according to Andy, that was definitely Ariana's vibe at the reunion. She was angry, he stated. All right, before we watch, I want to say this one thing. I 100% agree with this sentiment. I'm happy that they're not painting her as like bitter and scorned and all of that stuff. And I actually love that they're showing that he said she was angry and she had the burn the house down vibe. And I think there's something, and I hope you understand what I mean when I say this. I think there's something so freeing and beautiful about female rage, not female violence, female rage. I think there's something so beautiful about it because oftentimes women are not allowed to be angry. We're not allowed to be mad. We're not allowed to be pissed off. We're not allowed to talk about how we feel when we're wronged without being labeled bitter, scorned, or crazy. You know, we're allowed to be enraged when we're done wrong. So I'm really happy that they're talking about that narrative. I actually had something that happened on my channel with that. I had one of my thumbnails. You know that photo that goes around when Ariana's like screaming? She's like, ah, when she's like, F you, I want you to die, like that part. And one of my candy canes was like, why are you using this photo in the thumbnail? Like, Ariana's been nothing but classy and like totally mature about this whole thing. And you're making her look like she's crazy and all of this stuff. And I wrote back, I was just like, she's allowed to be angry. She's allowed to yell and to scream and to express the wrongness of what she did without being called crazy. You're not crazy. It's actually crazy to pretend like you're not angry when somebody does you dirty the way she's been done this dirty. I think it's beautiful. I think it's powerful. And I think that women should be allowed to be human beings. And yes, when your partner of almost 10 years does you the way Tom did her, you're damn right she's angry and she has every single right to be. So I'm really happy that people are having that discussion, you know? So with that, let's watch her new ad for Bic. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let me put this stuff down and let's watch.
Good morning. It's about time I shared my truth about something that's irritating me lately. It just feels like every day something was blocking me from living the life I deserve. And I can't lie, it's been kind of rough. Life does not have to be that complicated and annoying. Like, we all deserve to know how to deal with these freaking hairs that get stuck in my razor. Bye. Now, these Bic Easy Rinse razors, that's another story. Their patented anti-clogging technology gets a super smooth shave with less irritation and no clogging. I'm seriously so impressed. Feels like I'm just starting a whole new unclogged chapter in my life, you know?
Yay, Ariana. Keep killing it, keep killing it, keep killing it, girl. All right, let's keep going. Andy Cohen then detailed Sandoval's appearance. I can tell you that Tom Sandoval was really a shell of himself at the reunion. He was shaking. He stated. Well, maybe that's also because he's sustaining himself on cigarettes, Red Bull, and beer. and what other drugs he is taking and is on, in my opinion. I mean, in this episode, he said he thought quality time was taking shrooms and looking at the sky or something. So it's not me making up the fact that he's on drugs. This is things that he himself has said. Honestly, everything aside, because I do think Tom is a wackadoodle, narcissistic, cheating shell of a person, I do hope he gets like help, because his health does look not the best. You know what I mean? And I don't want anything bad to happen to him physically. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can kiki and go off about the cheating and all of that stuff, but I don't want anything actually bad to happen to him. So I do hope he gets some type of help with what's going on with him, because it's not looking good. It's really not. He said he stopped drinking, but there are other things to get you high that's not alcohol, you know? So I really do hope he gets help there. But let's keep going. Also on The View, after saying that while he believes Sandoval and Ariana are still sharing a home, Andy confirmed Ariana will be appearing live on Watch What Happens Live after next week's finale episode. I will say we've got the first interview with Ariana next Wednesday on Watch What Happens Live after the finale. So you will hear from her for the first time then, he teased. Dun, 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 dun. Now, this is the thing. I think she played it very, very smart. And I have a clip of Andy, and we'll watch that in a second. I think she played it very, very smart by giving Bravo her first interview. She's already the darling at this point after everything she's gone through, but I think she's going to get even more brownie points for that. Unlike Tom Sandoval, who totally did a misstep by going to Howie Mandel. Like, that was just a complete misstep. Not only was Andy pissed, but Bravos were pissed. We were pissed. All of that. It was just a hot, hot mess. But let's watch a little clip of Andy from The View talking about everything. Okay? Here we go.
So, you know who's really out of her mind that you're here? Alyssa.
Me. I've been counting down the days till you're here, because finally we have someone at the table who's willing to talk about Scandival.
Yes. Well, excuse me. Y'all did my work for me last week when you asked J-Lo about it. I was quite pleased with that. Thank you.
I was so into it.
Yes.
And if there's anyone at home who doesn't know about it, it's a scandal in Vanderpump Rules. Longtime partner Tom Sandoval cheating on his girlfriend of 9 years with one of her best friends.
In their house,
set the world on fire. So what can you tell us about the reunion? Because this is so anticipated.
Well, I can tell you that Tom Sandoval was really a shell of himself at the reunion.
As
he was
he should be.
shaking. He was thin.
Is he still in the house, Andy?
I think he may be, but he's on tour with his band, so I can't.
Oh,
yes. I will say we've got the first interview with Ariana next Wednesday on Watch What Happens Live.
Okay.
Live after the finale, so you will hear from her for the first time then.
Can I just say real quick, she's just such a queen, because I feel like we love to do the scorned woman, and she's like, no, I am better without him. I was the breadwinner. Like, screw him. I'm done. I'm obsessed.
I'd have burnt that place down to the ground.
Yes, well, that's her vibe at the reunion. She is angry.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it too. Let her be angry and let her burn it to the mother effing ground. So let me know what you guys think. What do you think about Andy Cohen spilling the tea about Tom Sandoval and everything that goes on at the reunion? What do you think about Ariana living her best life, not being scorned, but just going out there and getting it and booking the bags? And her new commercials and all of her new gigs. She has a new movie coming out. She's been modeling for Bloomingdale's. She has the Bic commercial. She has her little pleasure toy partnership that's coming up. Ariana is booked and busy, and she is absolutely doing it. So put it down below and let me know what you guys think. All right, let's move on to our next story. Now, this one is all about Katie Maloney. So she was on last night's Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and she was spilling the tea and telling her truth. So this is from Reality Blurb. It says Vanderpump Rules, Katie Maloney slams Raquel for disrespecting her mom, shares why Tom and Raquel should give romance, quote, a shot, and gives updates with Sheena, Shorts, and Satchel. I also have a clip of her from Watch What Happens Live, so we'll go through the article and then we'll watch the clip together. Katie Maloney explains why she believes Tom Sandoval and Raquel Leviss should give their relationship a shot on Wednesday's episode of Watch What Happens Live. Dun, 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 dun. While also sharing updates on Shayna Shea and Satchel, who she dated in mid-season 10, and reacting to Tom Schwartz's calling her, quote, a monster on his past appearance on Watch What Happens Live. The Vanderpump Rules star threw plenty of shade at Raquel as she confirmed if she was dating. No, I'm very happy, Katie revealed of her love life on the May 10th episode of Watch What Happens Live. According to Katie, her relationship with Satchel came to an end after fans saw them together on screen. But when it comes to her former flame, she said Satchel's doing good. He's got a girlfriend, she shared. Side note, it's rumored that Katie is dating, I think his name is Rob, and he is Stassi Schroeder's husband. His name is Bo. And I think it's his best friend or one of his really best friends. That's the rumor going around. That's who Katie is dating. So there you go. He's much older than Satchel. You know, he's around all of their ages, that like 37 to 42 age range right there. So we'll see. All right, here we go. As for her relationship with Sheena, who she feuded with throughout season 10, mainly due to Sheena's encouragement of a romance between Schwartz and Raquel, Katie said they're getting to a better place. Side note, before we get into what Katie said, personally, if I were Katie, I would forgive Sheena and I'd keep it cool and copacetic, but I would never trust her. Sheena, to me, is almost like a Schwartz. She likes to play dumb, and she likes to play victim to get out of accountability. Do you know, like, Sheena, you can only say for so long, oh, I was blinded by Raquel. Katie was so mean to me. Before you just have to say, you know what? I kind of chose to be a twat. I kind of chose to be not a good person because I just wanted to hurt someone who didn't like me. You know what I'm saying? It's like Sheena has to kind of buck up a bit. But I will say Sheena does take more accountability than Schwartz or anybody else does for their missteps. But I would never trust Sheena again. And I like Sheena. I think she's nice. She's cool. But we got to call a thing a thing. Saying that you wouldn't care if Raquel and Brock slept in the same bed just because you wanted to throw shots at Katie, that girl, bye. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Come on. Like, Sheena, no way, no way, no way. If I was Katie, I would never trust that again. You know, forgive, but don't forget. Let's keep going. I've seen more of her in the last couple of months than I have since the summertime. So I'm just gonna be slowly. So it's just going to be slowly. I want to see more action behind the apology, she explained. I love an apology. It's great. It feels good anytime someone can humble and really mean it. That's great. But I think it's been 10 years of this kind of cyclical sort of thing. And I want us to just really finally get back to a good place. But it's just going to take some time. I don't think Sheena and Katie will ever be friends until Sheena gets true self-esteem and self-worth. Until Sheena doesn't actually care about being friends with Katie, their friendship will never work. Because Sheena's never really been one of the girls. She wasn't a witch of the WeHo. And then she even said it, I forgot what season it was, when Stassi and Katie had their falling out and Katie and Sheena got really close. And then Sheena was scared and pissed when Stassi and Katie became friends again because she was like, oh, you're just going to drop me, now that you're friends with Stassi again. You were just using me because you weren't friends with her. Where it's like, no, Sheena, this would have been an opportunity for you to really integrate with the entire group. So I think until Sheena stops being a pick-me, the relationship isn't going to work. The friendship isn't going to work. I really like Katie. Justice for Katie Maloney. Justice for her mother, because again, if anybody came from my mom, that conversation would have went very, very different real quick. Real quick. But let's keep going. As fans may recall, Schwartz slammed his ex-wife as, quote, a monster on numerous occasions during his April appearance on Watch What Happens Live, while suggesting she abused his loyalty for years. Looking back at the disc, Katie confirmed they have chatted since. We mostly just talk about dog stuff because we share our dogs, so that was pretty much the extent of it. I did send him a bit of a rage text after that episode for sure, just like, you look like an idiot, she revealed. Schwartz, you do look like an idiot. Because I don't think as someone's husband or wife, you can exploit loyalty. Like, stop. And you were never loyal to Katie. Even in this last night's episode that we just watched, you still were a slime bucket and a little, overcooked macaroni, no backbone. You didn't have her back. You didn't defend her. You didn't do anything. You just sat in the corner with your musky smelling self. You need some deodorant over there with Peter, not even, doing, like, it's crazy to me. And then when Katie took him to the back of the alley, and then when Raquel came in, he goes, oh, it's okay. Hi, Raquel. Let Raquel talk. The level of disrespect is crazy to me. Crazy to me. You know what I mean? Absolutely nuts. Like, how dare you? Let's keep going. Katie also addressed her and Schwartz's back alley conversation, which Raquel crashed on Wednesday's Pump Rules. I was so frustrated. I was just like, we either had this conversation, you and I, and then she's out there. I was just so frustrated, Katie recalled. I started laughing. I couldn't believe what was happening. Katie couldn't understand why Schwartz was defending Raquel rather than having her back, which has been a common theme throughout their marriage, an attempt at maintaining a friendship. When Katie was then asked if she believed she and Schwartz will ever be able to be true friends, Katie replied, I would think so, but he's really got to learn to respect. Just in a friendship, you need to have a friendship. He just fails time and time again. Even Katie's mom, Terry Maloney, called out Schwartz's for failing, giving a nod to his kiss with Raquel. My mom really wanted to have that conversation with him ever since she texted him after the kiss in Mexico like weeks before. He never texted her back. See, what a slime bucket. What a slime bucket. You can't even text your mother-in-law back, ex-mother-in-law back, whatever you want to call it. You're sitting there at the table doing your crocodile boo-hoo tears. I love you, Terry. I love Katie, blah, 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 blah. And still acting like a damn fool. Acting like a damn fool. Okay. Let's keep going. And then I have a clip that we can watch too. As fans saw, Raquel doubled down on the idea that Katie should have a say in what Schwartz was doing after their split, even going as far as to complain, oh my God, when Terry weighed in. You don't talk to my mom that way. You don't roll your eyes at my mom, Katie responded. Also on Watch What Happens Live, after asking really and rolling her eyes when Raquel's desire to take a step back to address her mental health concerns was mentioned, and comparing Sandoval's interview with Howie Mandel to a dumpster fire in which he lied straight up from the beginning, Katie addressed Sandoval and Raquel's future. I don't know what they're doing, but I still think maybe they should give it a shot because they've blown up their lives and may as well, she reasoned. Now, this is the thing. This is the thing, okay? Tom Schwartz was complete garbage for the way he treated Katie and her mother. Same with Raquel. You don't roll your eyes. You don't say, oh my God. You don't huff and puff, with your weird looking self and your 6 different personalities. Shout out to Katie for that one. To somebody's mother. It's a line you just simply do not cross. You don't disrespect somebody's mom. Absolutely a hot mess. A hot mess. Now, I want to ask you guys something. Now, Katie said on Watch What Happens Live last night that her theory about Schwartz, Raquel, and Sandoval is that Schwartz was, sort of this like, dun decoy, and he like makes out with Raquel and all this stuff. And then, but the reason why that happened was because Raquel was sort of playing these games to make Sandoval jealous. Like, well, I'm single and I can do whatever I want. So I'm going to hook up with your best friend. You're the one in a relationship. So until you're not in a relationship, I'm going to do what I want. And then Tom Sandoval gets jealous and then comes clean to Tom Schwartz being like, oh, buddy, stop hooking up with her because I'm hooking up with her. And then that's why Tom Schwartz backs off. That's what Katie said on Watch What Happens Live, her theory was. But I personally don't think so. I think Tom Schwartz was a part of the whole situation pretty much from jump. I don't think Tom Sandoval really does anything that Tom Schwartz doesn't know about in real time and in the beginning, if that makes sense. I think that Tom Schwartz was a willful participant in whatever was going on with Raquel. And I think all three of them was kind of doing like a collective FU to everybody else. But then I think that Tom Schwartz, out of the three of them, had more of a conscience. And then he realized, oh, you know what? Katie is this is kind of getting out of control. And then that's when he kind of started doing the little hints like, oh, well, this is her type. She likes people who are taken. Maybe we shouldn't flirt. Actually don't show up with me to the party. And then he tries to do all the damage control with Katie, which ends up blowing in his face because he's a buffoon. Okay. Now here we go. And again, Amy, I see you. I agree. I think Tom and Rachel are the ones who had the threesome. I think that was the throuple. They did the shrooms or the ecstasy and they put on their little weird lights and then they just did what they wanted to do and how they wanted to do it. I mean, that to me makes the most sense. But let's watch her, a clip from her on Watch What Happens Live. Let's watch.
We are back with Katie Maloney from Vanderpump Rules and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is in theaters now. Elizabeth Gascoigne is behind the bar. Let's go back to our fans. Jack from my home state of Missouri has a question for Katie.
It's actually Jackie.
Jackie, sorry.
It's okay. Hi, Andy. Hi, Katie. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Katie, how do you feel about Jax Taylor saying on Peacock that if it weren't for Sandoval, you and Schwartz would still be together? How does that make you feel?
That's interesting. I hadn't heard that he said that.
I saw like a clip of that somewhere. He's wrong and he's right. I think, yeah, Sandoval's influence and Sandoval and Schwartz's friendship definitely got in the way of a lot. But I think, Schwartz didn't really come to the table on his own.
There is a part of me that thinks that is true, though, because
I said it's true and it's not true. I don't think it did not help our marriage. Their friendship did not help our marriage at all.
Right. Here's Lindsay from Cincinnati with a question for Karen.
Yeah. Hi, Andy. Congrats on the book, and you're crushing the one-year-old hair game with Sweet Lucy. Katie, you look amazing, and even more, you look so happy, and that's more important. And Karen, my question's for you. As a fellow VPR superfan, who do you think is now the number one guy in the group? James, Schwartz, Sandoval, or Brock?
Oh, my God. Is it possible there's zero number ones? None of them are worthy of number one. Come on.
I kind of think it's James. I can't believe it.
Yeah, he's one of the gals. He's
closest. He's closest to number one.
Did you see him on Watch What Happens Live?
I saw clips because I was
right. It was wildly amusing. I have to say.
What is this quote? When you do something outrageous, expect people to be outraged. I was like,
yeah, right.
Write
yes,
that down.
Yes.
That's really great.
Housewives tagline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you watch Housewives too, or just Vanderpump?
No, just Vanderpump.
Wow, I love it. All right.
Yeah.
Do you watch Summer House or Southern Charm or anything?
Summer House was like a spin-off at some point of Vanderpump.
Well,
Rules,
Vanderpump
right?
did a little crossover.
That's the one that I watched, and I was like, where have I gone? But then I came back.
Okay, very good. Thanks, virtual audience. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Karen. Everybody see Guardians of the Galaxy. Thanks, Elizabeth. For more, click around bravotv.com. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Ooh. I think James is the number one man of the group. Put it in the chat box. Who do you think is the number one guy of the group? I think it's James. And put it down below. What do you think about Katie? I think Katie is trying to low-key protect Short a little bit because of all of the blowback that's happening. She's like, well, this is the theory that he didn't know and this happened, when we all know he knew. We all know he knew. He was talking about it at glamping and all that stuff. We know he knew. So put it down below and let me know what you guys think. So with that, let's move on to our next story. So this is all about Raquel telling Ariana, girl, it's all in your head. So this is according to People magazine. Vanderpump Rules, Raquel tells Ariana her fears about Sandoval are, quote, in your own head. As Tom Sandoval's bond with Raquel Leviss grew behind the scenes, then girlfriend Ariana said in a painful conversation that she often got the leftovers as he went peacocking on a night out. I also have a clip for this, so we'll go through the article and then we will watch a clip of the convo, okay? Let's keep going. It seemed as though Tom Sandoval and Raquel were teaming up to place doubt inside Ariana Madix's mind before news of their affair broke. I mean, duh, we all know how diabolical, egotistical, and narcissistic Raquel and Sandoval are. Both of them together are nothing but gaslighters and instigators. It's a lot. On Wednesday's episode of Vanderpump Rules, the Tom Tom bar owner sat down with his then girlfriend to discuss how he had been feeling about the relationship. Quote, it just sometimes feels lately we haven't been as connected, Sandoval 40 began. There's been a lot of things that have been bothering me and stacking up and sort of swept under the rug. He added, my very presence effing annoys you. However, Ariana noted, your very presence, I don't think those are words that I say, just being honest. But this only furthered Sandoval's next point. And that's another thing is you snap at me and you belittle me in front of people. That really hurts my effing feelings, he said. Ariana, 37, then claimed this wasn't the case and she tried to explain her side of the situation. Side note, a couple of things. I think that Ariana's snarky, sarcastic, cold, deadpan, monotone, I'm such a cool girl and nothing bothers me persona that he used to like because it was the antithesis of Kristen Doty. I'm bringing it back. You know, Kristen was a hothead. Kristen was crazy Kristen. She was all over the place. And Ariana really played that I'm so cool and laid back role. And that vibe really irritated the hell out of Kristen. So I think that Ariana's personality type and her persona as like the cool girl and nothing bothers me, which we all know is very unhealthy and not true and was basically a lie. A lot of things bothered her. She just wasn't being honest about it. I think that he was attracted to that personality because he was able to use that personality type to hurt Kristen. Just like I said earlier, I think Tom Sandoval is a narcissist and he uses people to hurt people that he doesn't like. And I think that once that wore off, like once Kristen moved on, Kristen went to therapy, she, was happy in her relationship. Her and Ariana had a friendship, and then everything was cool, kumbaya. Once the chaos ended, once the drama ended, the thrill for him was gone. Once he could no longer hurt people through it, the thrill was gone and control and manipulate. So her personality type that he's now complaining about, because Ariana's like that to everybody. She is very snippy. She is very sarcastic. She is a little cold. She's kind of like, she is like that. It's not a bad thing. I'm very sarcastic myself, all the time. So I'm not coming down on her. I'm not judging her or saying this is a bad thing by any means. Absolutely not. It's just your personality. I think what he used to find endearing now irritates him and agitates him, which happens a lot in relationships. What you used to find so lovey-dovey about the person you were with, now you can't stand and grates on you. All right, let's keep going, okay? Let's keep going. But I think that was something to like bring up. She says, but yet you're the only person that I'm constantly wanting to hang out with more, and I never get to hang out with you and have it be just us, Ariana told Sandoval. I've said that for months. You peacocking on a night out, everybody gets that, and then I get the leftovers. Yeah, because he no longer feels like he has to impress you. When he was getting you and love bombing you, you got that version of Tom because he wanted to impress you. And now that he has you, he's not trying to impress you anymore. Sandoval responded, I feel like sometimes, obviously, with all the things you've been going through and stuff, and the stuff I've been dealing with, I don't feel like we are connected in the way we should be. We didn't even take an effing picture together at Sheena Shea's wedding. That's effing crazy, he continued. Okay, I'm going to get into this in a second, but I want to read what she says. She goes, you don't need to feel bad about that, Ariana reassured him. I don't think taking pictures together is a marker for if you're connected to somebody. But Sandoval argued back, okay, dude. I'm not dude. You get me. But yes, it is. Everything that I say, are you going to disagree with? No, I agree with what you're saying about us not being connected, Ariana said. She then recalled how close they used to be and all the activities they would do together, like listening to music while cooking dinner together. Okay, this is the thing. He is very, very sneaky and very manipulative. He knows that in his mind, he is calculating the narrative of Ariana is mean to me. Ariana isn't connected to me. Ariana puts me down. Ariana snaps at me. I've been trying so hard with his little fake scenes with Tom Schwartz. Oh, I get batteries and tissue and toilet paper for the house. You get batteries and toilet papers for the house you live in and use, and you think that's supposed to get you some brownie points? I bring her her favorite Starbucks every morning. And what's your point? You're getting Starbucks for yourself too, homeboy. You bring coffee in the morning? So does an assistant. Like, what the hell are you talking about? He's making the most weirdest things because he knows in his mind, he's preparing his exit strategy so that he can say, I was fighting for our love. I was showing her my love. And then Tom Schwartz, the patsy weirdo he is, well, does she show it back? Like, shut up, Schwartz. You know, so both of them are setting up this narrative to make Tom the victim, and to make her the bad guy. She's the one who's checked out. She doesn't want to have fun anymore. She's the one who's mean to him. She's so dismissive of him, which is a bunch of BS because the only role Ariana has really been playing on this show since she got with Tom was Tom's defender. That was really it. She used to do acting. That stopped. She was doing the cocktail book. He took it over. You know what I mean? She really just has been Tom's defender, you know? But let's keep going. But let's get back to it. So when he's saying things like, you're dealing with stuff, I'm dealing with stuff, we didn't even take an effing picture together at Sheena Shea's wedding, that's effing crazy. Now, this is what is disgusting, evil, diabolical, and extremely manipulative, okay? He's saying to her, we didn't take a picture at Sheena Shea's wedding in Mexico. We're doing so horrible in a relationship. Doesn't memory serve us right that Tom Sandoval, I'll just say rumored, alleged, but we all know the deal, didn't he disappear for 3 hours during the same exact 3 hours that Raquel disappeared at Sheena Shea's wedding? And now everyone was like, oh, were they having sex? So is the reason why you didn't take a picture with Ariana at Sheena's wedding was because you were having sex with Raquel? And now you want to turn around and throw that in her face? So everything Schwartz is saying, we didn't take pictures in Mexico for the wedding. That's right, because you were with Raquel and you were having sex with her. You don't want to go out with him anymore. Oh, that's right, because you're going out and you're going out at the Abbey at 1 o'clock in the morning, peacocking and dancing with Raquel because Allie told it. It's like I said before, the partner in the relationship who usually is the one who was cheating, what they do is they withdraw first. They start going out, never coming home, disappearing, everything he was doing. Also, we don't spend time together. Didn't you spend like extra hours during Labor Day weekend when Ariana's grandmother died and you lied about not being able to get a ride home and instead you stayed to hang out with Raquel? But yet you want to blame you not being connected with Ariana on her when she's like, you say you think my presence is annoying, but you're the person that I'm like begging to spend time with. So what they do is they start to disconnect and withdraw first. And then when they get called out on it, they flip it. Well, we don't hang out anymore. We don't have sex anymore. You don't want to have sex with me. So I'm out. You don't like spending time with me. When the truth is, when someone's like, well, you don't want to have sex with me anymore, usually they're the ones who are out there having sex with somebody else. You don't want to spend time with me anymore. Usually they are the ones who are not coming home, spending all the time out, making excuses and lying and not spending time with you. And they take their own behavior and they flip it onto you. It's crazy making behavior. It's classic gaslighting. Classic. We don't have sex anymore? Well, because you don't want to have sex with me. And then you're like, well, wait a minute. You know what I mean? It's crazy making behavior. Poor Ariana was like a freaking robot. I'm not mad at you, Tom. Girl. And so he was really trying to do that whole narrative. Now, given the way he looked at the reunion when Andy Cohen asked him if he was in love with Raquel, his look was a hell no. There's a part of me that wonders if his plan was actually to ever be with Raquel once he broke up with Ariana. Do you know what I mean? There's a part of me that's like, was that ever the actual end game for him? Obviously not end game forever because we know how he is. Sure, he ended up with Ariana after Kristen, but there's a part of me that's like, was he just going to use Raquel and then dump her too? Who knows? Okay, let's keep going. No, I agree with that, what you're saying about us not being connected, Ariana said. She then recalled how close they used to be. Okay, we went to that. Growing emotional, Sandoval shared with her, I just want to effing be better. I want us to be intimate. Having sex 4 times a year, that also affects me. That didn't sit well with Ariana, who responded, okay, well, maybe you need to spend time with me because I cannot have sex with somebody who feels like a stranger. See? Also, classic gaslighting. You're not spending time with her. You're not creating that emotional, mental, and spiritual intimacy where she feels comfortable and safe to have sex with you physically, right? And then you want to turn around and throw it in her face that she doesn't feel comfortable having physical sex because you are already checked out and dipped out in every other aspect of the relationship. That's another way to gaslight someone. We don't have sex. Well, you're never here. She further explained in her confessional, to me, quality time is one-on-one, no distractions, no other people, really focus on each other. I want that emotional and physical intimacy. You can't telepath your D into a vagina from the Abbey. And the Abbey is where he was with Raquel at. Sandoval asked Ariana what she considers to be quality time, to which she said, doing an activity, going for a walk around the neighborhood, making dinner together, not necessarily going out and getting drunk together. But he argued, that's your definition of quality time. Well, you're damn right. Didn't you just ask her what her definition of quality time was? This is another way to manipulate and gaslight. So what's your definition of quality time? Oh, spending time with people. Well, that's your definition of quality time. Well, yeah, duh. You just asked me what it was. But when a producer asked what his ideal way of spending quality time was, Tom answered, take some mushrooms together and watch the sunrise. Let's go skinny dipping in the pool. Let's hang out. Let's go hang gliding. I like stimuli. So Tom, this 40-plus-year-old man, because there's Kristen Doty said that he's about 41, 42, because she said that he's older than her. And he's lying about his age, but who cares? This 40-year-old plus guy, his idea of quality time is taking mushrooms and watching the sunrise, and let's go skinny dipping in the pool or hang gliding. I like stimuli. This is what I mean by he's on something. And now this isn't my opinion anymore. This is what he said out of his own mouth. This is what he said. You know, I had weirdos in the chat, not my candy canes, because my candy canes know the deal. I had some people being like, stop saying that he's on drugs. I said, first of all, it's my opinion he's on drugs. But now he's saying it himself. And they've said it themselves too. Multiple times. I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot. However, his comment sounded suspiciously similar to what he told Howie Mandel in his recent interview about how his first kiss with their co-star Raquel transpired. We literally talked till the sun came up, he recalled to Howie on the night he and Raquel first crossed the line in their friendship. Allegedly first crossed the line. Sandoval then questioned why Ariana goes out with her other friends, and the two went back and forth a bit about whether or not they share the same interest. Growing tired from this, Sandoval took a moment to sip from his coffee. He ultimately told Ariana, I love you. I want us to be better. Lies and lies. You don't love her. You don't want her to be better. You're just trying to create the narrative where you get to be the victim and she gets to be the bad guys. I'm talking Arrested Development here. He's talking like a freaking freshman in college. Let's do some shrooms and watch the sunrise, guys. Then let's play some video games, Tommy. Like, what adult, what person, human being says this stuff like this? It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And apparently he's also on Adderall. You know, I'm repeating what has been said, guys. Repeating what has been said. I know my candy canes know, but just for the world. And all of that stuff. So, and I think that Raquel is down for that. The way she talks, the way she acts like she's on something too. I have more empathy for shorts than I do for you. Let's put the lights on and go to another universe. And like, girl, you're 28, sweetheart. You're not 18. You know, people act like Raquel's like this little girl. No, you're 28. You're 28. You got to grow up. Like, nobody on this show is a kid. Nobody on this show is a kid. She's 28, maybe pushing 29 by this point. Tom's 40 plus. Nobody on this show are kids. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not age shaming by any means, but you know what I'm talking about. Just like a maturity level, a dull level, right? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. All right, let's watch a little segment and then we'll talk a little bit more, okay? Let's watch. Sick, psycho, sick. Like, to me in that scene, Rachel, pick one of her personalities, was trying to get Ariana to say on camera, because I don't trust anything Rachel or Tom does, because I think that they were trying to create this narrative. I think she was baiting her to say on camera that she wanted to break up with Tom, that she wasn't happy with Tom, that she was no longer sexually attracted to Tom and all of that stuff, so that they could then go and use that the way that they've been throwing everything in Katie's face. Well, Katie, you're the one who divorced him, so why do you care? Katie, you did this. Lala, you did this and you said this and blah, blah, blah. I think that she wanted, because again, I think everything she has said this season to Katie, to Lala, to Ariana, to everybody, is just regurgitating what Tom Sandoval has told her to say. I think she wanted it on camera to get Ariana disparaging Tom and the sex life and all of that, so they could have that to then go back and see, it was Ariana who didn't like Tom. It was Ariana who didn't want to have sex. It was Ariana who wanted to break up. She's the bad guy. She was the bad one who checked out. Poor Tom, poor Tom, poor Tom. Oh, Raquel was just, an ear to listen to, and one thing led to another while she was supporting her dear friend Tom Sandoval, who was so heartbroken over mean Ariana not wanting to have sex with him. Do you see what I'm saying? I think it was a setup. I think it was all a setup, because then she goes, well, and if you also think about it, Ariana was prior to that scene, they're talking about Katie and they're talking about Schwartz and all of that fallout. And it's Raquel who brings up the issues that Tom and Ariana are having to her. She goes, yeah, well, I did want to talk to you about you and Tom. Like, are you and Tom okay? And like, you said that you guys, blah, 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 and like your dry spells, and do you want to be with him? And then you can even see when Rachel is not getting the response she wants, she gets frustrated. She's like, oh, so you still want to be with him? You want to be in this relationship? And Ariana's like, yeah, like, I think he's really hot and I want to be in my relationship. I want to be talking about it. And she's like, okay. You can see she's getting frustrated because she's not getting the ammunition that she wanted to get from Ariana. Ariana's saying, no, I think Tom is hot. I want to work on a relationship. I want to be with him. We'll probably just talk it through. Yes, we go through dry spells, but we'll get through it. Rachel wanted her to say, yeah, I'm thinking of breaking up with him. We don't have sex. I'm not attracted to him anymore. Blah, 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 blah. To co-sign and echo the BS narrative that Tom Sandoval was already planting with those fake conversations he was having with Schwartz, and that fake conversation he was having with Ariana, and those fake conversations he was having in the confessionals to the producers. He wanted to get Rachel to have Ariana say it for the record on camera. And then she got frustrated when she didn't. That's how calculated and disgusting they are. Just like when we watched the reunion trailer, when they're in their own trailer and the reunion, and Tom's like, they're trying to say we're pathological liars. And she's like, I know, but like, we know we're not, right? It's like, girl. And every single thing she's saying is just regurgitating what Tom Sandoval says. And then once she says it, then Tom jumps in to co-sign what she says. There's a pattern of that. Remember, they did it when they went against Lala at that pool party. It was the episode and the scene when they were all going after Katie because Katie wasn't going to give up her Mexico room. And then what's her face? Bambi. Rachel goes in on Lala being like, oh, you're a bimbo, you're this, Lala, you're that, Lala, blah, 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 going off. And then Tom jumps in to go after Lala and to go after Katie, defending Raquel. She feels bullied. She feels this. You guys are so mean, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when Ariana is like, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to sit here with Tom versus the girls. She was just regurgitating everything Tom said about Lala, because we already know Tom hates Lala and he hates Katie. Then she's like, well, Katie already hates me anyway, so I might as well hook up with Schwartz. That's a lie. Prior to Raquel hooking up with Schwartz, Katie didn't really have a problem with Raquel. She didn't really pay her dust mind either way. So that was a lie. That was just Sandoval. And then even in this last episode, when Raquel starts getting really disrespectful toward Katie's mom, Terry, Sandoval is the one who interjects and defends Rachel and goes after Terry. Oh, well, Katie was doing this and that's not fair. And then in confessional, oh, it's really tacky to have your mom defend you. Well, it's really tacky to have your robot side chick mistress defend you against everybody else in the world. So you want to talk about tacky, Tom? You're the one who's tacky as hell because you don't have the guts to say to Lala to her face what you had Raquel tell her. You didn't have the guts to tell Katie to her face what you had Raquel tell her. And you sure as hell didn't have the guts to tell Ariana to her face what you had Raquel tell her. So the only person in this equation is tacky is you. And anybody who in the confessional or to the face disrespects somebody's mother is disgusting and tacky as hell. You're the tacky one. And then you saw Christina Kelly and the other people be like, excuse me, Tom, why are you attacking Terry in defense of Raquel when your girlfriend Ariana is having a nervous breakdown over there with Lisa Vanderpump? Why don't you go check on your girlfriend who is your business in a relationship instead of inserting yourself in a conversation that literally had nothing to do with you? Tom Schwartz was in a corner quivering with Peter. He wasn't interjecting, and it was his business. It was his ex-wife, his ex-mother-in-law, the chick he made out with. Tom Schwartz is in the corner, okay? Not saying a damn thing. It was none of Tom Sandoval's business. What did it have to do with Tom Sandoval? What happened with Schwartz, Raquel, Katie, and her mother? Not a damn thing. But yet he was the one interjecting it. Because he winds Raquel up, he tells her what to say, she goes out and says it, and then he jumps in to quarterback her. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. So put it down below. Let me know what you guys think, as always. So with that, let's move on to our next story, which ironically is another story about moms, and also very appropriate since Mother's Day is coming up very, very soon. This is another story about mothers. But this time, it's Lala Kent's mom, Lisa. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says, Lala Kent claims Ariana Madix had a meltdown after she called Tom Sandoval out for lying about why he couldn't leave a Labor Day party, which was also attended by Raquel on last week's Vanderpump Rules. As she also confirmed, she learned from her mother, Lisa Birmingham, that Sandoval had hung up on a, quote, screaming Ariana who just lost her grandmother at the party. Lala revealed that Ariana did not take too kindly to her putting Sandoval on blast. When I bring it up, Ariana gets furious to the point where production steps in because she says, I'm not doing this. Production always tries to do this to my relationship. Lala recalled on the May 10th episode of Give Them Lala via Page 6. See, again, Ariana, I'm still on your side, Ariana, but you got to stop. Don't blame Lala. Don't blame production for the fact that your ex-boyfriend is trash to you. That's not somebody trying to take you down. That's you not wanting to be honest about the state of your relationship. And I get it. We've all been there. Everybody on this planet, in some way, shape, or form, depending on the relationships you have, you've been in a spot where you want to be willfully ignorant. You don't want to admit that the relationship isn't working. You don't want to be honest that your partner is disrespectful as hell. You don't want to be honest that you're unhappy and yeah, you look like a damn fool, It's like that oldie song, everybody plays the fool sometimes. Girl, you were playing the fool all of the time, okay? That's nobody's fault but your own. And by fault, I don't mean blame or criticism because we're human beings. We've all been there. Either we've been there or we have a friend who's been there. But once you're through it, you have to acknowledge it was us, not them. Okay, let's keep going. As Pump Rules fans may have seen, Lala spoke to Ariana about Sandoval lying about why he couldn't leave the bash to comfort his grieving girlfriend. I want to say it was before Tom came in that cameras went down because she was very upset that I was bringing this up. Very. Lala added, noting that Sandoval ultimately joined the chat. Looking back, Lala admitted that because of how Ariana reacted to her calling out Sandoval's lie, she felt it would not be a good idea for her to voice her concerns about the nature of Sandoval and Raquel's relationship. Again, if you're going to shut it down, you're going to shut it down. She did say, Lala, you don't know mine and Tom's relationship. Like, in all fairness, we never see you. Again, that sounds like Tom Sandoval. Lala shared, but then after whatever happened, the cameras picked back up and we do the rest of the scene. Also on the podcast, Lala confirmed she had received information from her mom about how Sandoval had treated Ariana at the party. In that scene, Ariana says, I was okay with the way things transpired that way. False. How I know this is because my mom, who was chasing my sweet little daughter around at the Labor Day party, and she happened to end up in a certain spot with Ocean, where Ocean was, where Tom Sandoval was on the phone with Ariana, Lala revealed via Rate My Bravo on Instagram. She would hear Ariana screaming at him, and then he would hang up and say that he lost service. She continued. My mom's watching this, and my mom doesn't tell me until I'm like, something's going on. I tell her, and she's like, oh yeah, I watched him hang up on her a lot. She was really upset. And I'm like, what else did you see? Dun, 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 dun. So basically, Lala's mom had the tea. You know, as we already know, Ariana was doing her little, it's cool, it's fine, nothing bothers me. It was okay how it went down. I didn't care. It was fine. Little act routine for the cameras, when behind the scenes, she's crying and fighting and screaming at him because, like always, he is out dipping it and doing it with everybody but her. And I feel really bad for her. You know, that's a really shitty place to be in. You know, you just lost your dog, Charlotte, then your grandmother dies, and your boyfriend of nearly 10 years would rather be at a pool party doing pop and shroom, do pop shroom, eat shroom, I don't know, eating shrooms, looking at the sky with Skanky Raquel instead of being there for you. And then you're so entrenched in believing your own lie. You're so entrenched in your own delusion that instead of being honest about that, you then turn around and blame production. Oh, they always do this to my relationship. You then turn around and blame Lala. Oh, I'm not mad at Lala, but like, she said that she was triggered by this, so she was more upset than I was. You're lying, Ariana. You're lying. And just like Lala said in the scene, it's okay for you to say, hey, Tom, I really needed you to be there for me, and it sucked that you weren't. Or whatever she said. I'm paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? So Ariana did a lot of covering. And I'm not saying this to bash her or to go against her, not at all. It's a situation a lot of people find themselves in. You're in a relationship with a partner. You want to protect your partner. You want to protect your own ego because it's kind of embarrassing. You know, like she said, now you've put me in a position where now I look stupid. Now I look like an idiot because everybody knows that instead of you being there with me, you were out there dipping it and doing it, pop, drop, and locking it. And he did have you out here looking like an idiot, but he had you out here looking like an idiot from day one. That's the gag. The gag isn't, oh, this season all of a sudden he had Ariana looking stupid. No, he's had you looking stupid for a long time, Ariana. Literally since day one. He had you looking stupid when you were the side chick, and he lied about it 10 years ago when you got with him and you were the side chick, and he lied and said he never got with you. And everybody and their mother was like, no, you're lying. That's how he had you looking stupid from jump. And one thing I believe, start as you mean to go on, because the way you start anything is usually the way you're going to go through it, and it's the way you're going to finish it. So start as you mean to go on. You start it as a side chick, and you start it with lying and covering for him. You never told the truth that you cheated, that you were the side chick with him. You lied to Kristen to her face. You gaslit her and everybody around her until it came out. So you were the side chick. Then he had you looking crazy as hell when you guys finally did get together, and then he cheated on you with Miami Girl. And again, I bet you it comes out that Ariana admits that she lied to protect Tom, because I bet you she comes out and admits that she knew he cheated on her. but she chose to forgive him, and she chose to protect him, and she chose to stay in the relationship. I bet you it comes out that she admits that she knew about it, because he had you looking dumb as hell then. And then consequently, for the rest of the seasons and the rest of your relationship, he had you out here looking crazy. He had you out here looking crazy when he took over your cocktail book, had you looking crazy. He had you looking crazy out here when Lala went down on you in the car, and in the car he says it's cool, but then behind your back he says it wasn't cool. That had you looking crazy. Okay? He's had you out here looking crazy a lot. A lot. It is what it is. Call a thing a thing. So with that, put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. Now let's move on to our last story of the day, you guys, before we take some candy cane questions and comments. Now, this one is some real